So I got a bit of an early Christmas present that I wanted to feature on the channel. Some classic Legoland Space System boxes. We're talking the Blacktron 1 line, Future On, so going back to 1980s. Boxes from some of the good old Lego sets that people my age, you know, it's kind of before my time, but I still really appreciate these. The box art's a lot of fun, and kind of like a time capsule, little time machine. So this is a box of Lego boxes, and that is today's video on Brick System Brothers. So I do want to say a big thank you to the family member who sent me these earlier this month. Just something where I got an email and they felt bad about throwing them away. So these don't have the original sets in them, it's just the boxes. I think they're familiar with what I do here and Lego collection, so I got offered a chance to give these a new life here in Brick System Brothers workshop. Probably will go into storage for a while. Eventually I think it'd be fun to do a project where I rebuild the sets that these go to and then have the set and the box. But a lot of these are sets that contain parts that are really hard to get a hold of now. They're retired parts and colors. But the important part is having the boxes on hand and also having a place to store them so that it's not something that I have to worry about getting rid of. And that's here in the workshop. Got plenty of room for that. So my plan today is to work through the box of boxes, unpacking, give you guys the highlights, take a look at boxes. A lot of the sets from this era, the back of the box has a lot of good stuff as well. Alternate builds, stuff that wasn't necessarily in the instructions, but was a hallmark of Lego sets here. They really emphasized the possibility, different combinations that you could do even just with one or two sets. So this is 6987. It's a Blacktron 1 set. I did not know all of the release dates for these. A lot of them do have the copyright here, so this is 1988. Maybe on a few of these I'll look for that, but generally these are 1980s, possibly a few 1970s set boxes. So this would be kind of one of the big space bases. Blacktron. Then to stay in the space theme, there's 6928. This would be the classic space with the blue and the transparent yellow. This does have the box insert here, as well as some instructions. Really good shape. Here's a fun idea book. So these will be really fun to just go through individually, but this is kind of all a package deal, so that's how I'm gonna present it. Yes, the service packs. A lot of the catalogs and databases, this is really the only image we have for a lot of these service packs. Sometimes people do have an image of it was almost like a poly bag that they came in, but this is where they got the scans. People would just scan the instruction books here, and then this is the set image for these service packs. That's where those come from. Oh yeah, back of the box here. Good stuff. 6932. The 200. I like the use of this large canopy, and then kind of the two modules on the side. I think this is Future On theme. Not super familiar. Lots of alternate build possibilities here. Box is opened up like that. Some instructions in there. A couple of parts floating around. Here's 6954, another Blacktron. This is the Renegade, I believe. Really cool asymmetrical build. And it also has this kind of modular concept where you don't have to take things all the way apart to rebuild it, but you split it into these main sections, and then that's what you can rearrange to get these different models. So they have these kind of labeled with a letter. You have your A, B, C, and D, and then this shows you which 2 sections you need, or 3 sections. C, D, and B will build this little capsule, or C and A will make that. So very rudimentary instructions for building the alternate models here, but really this would have the instructions to build the main model, A model I guess is what it's called, and then once you have that built, you don't really have to take things too far apart. So that's a really good compact way to have alternates of a set. There's another alternate in the inside cover. I don't know if this one would have instructions. Lots of spares in here too. That's good stuff. 6894 box. So little butterfly wings here. Empty tray. And again with the alternate builds. Lots of possibilities. There's another copy of 6932. Yeah, 2 of those. Nice. Okay, how about some more classic space? 6971. Kind of a home base operation here. Oh, I love this tray insert. It's got the Saturn, or the planetary ring, kind of vacuum formed in the plastic tray. Again, instructions, little Legoland book in there. I'll have to dig those out later. Alternate builds on the back. This box is in great shape here. A little bit of sticker residue on the logo. That one is cool. How about a new pet, 6940, kind of this canine walker style build. Some alternates and the open top. I can't tell if this is actually tinted plastic or if it's just that old. I think it's tinted plastic here. The tray insert kind of has that yellowish thing on it. And a Rover 6952. We got a guy with a jetpack here on this one. Early version of a brick-built jetpack. Great alternate builds here. And then that insert style, consistent. Nice. Okay, let's branch out a little bit. One last feature on here, a small $14.99 set. That box has taken a couple of hits. Let's jump into the town theme. 6375 Exxon station. It actually has the tie-in branding here. It's not the Octan is kind of Lego's in-house brand, and that's what they use nowadays a lot. But back in the day, they did have licenses. I'm not sure how formal it was, but they had Exxon and Shell actual logos in their products from the day. Alternate builds here include a little ferry and a couple different takes on a station aside from the main model. Here's our 6368 Jet. This has the black and red highlights. Pretty sure this printed tail is something Josh got at the Omaha Bricks and Minifigs a while back. Again, just great variety of alternate models to choose from. Really gives you a lot of bang for your buck. This is something we see in Creator now. Creator is very good about supplying up to 3 or even 4 alternate official builds. And now with Rebrickable, there's a lot of people who do alternate mocks. This is still going on in the Creator sub-theme of Lego, but it's not something you see as much in the other main themes. I think a lot of that has to do with how many pieces are more specialized now. You can't necessarily reuse all of the parts like you can when you have these kind of basic shapes. So yeah, it definitely looks its age. It's from a simpler era of Lego pieces, but what you're able to do with those is really shown in some of these alternate builds from the official side of things. So I got 2 of those. And let's take a short detour into the world of Lego Technic. It's a small Technic Universal set, 8020. It's got a chopper, a van, and a little SUV there. Really an emphasis on the functional side of Lego pieces. This was still pretty early on. The introduction of these bricks with the Technic holes, so the beam bricks here, and also the plates with the holes, and then the entire system of gears, axles, and pins that makes this all work together. So the Universal Technic set. These had much more of an emphasis on the variety of submodels rather than just one featured model here, and that's really shown all around the box art, trying to squeeze as many of those in as possible. Great little Technic set. Okay, I guess we're going back to Classic Space, and this is one of the Empire builders, 6985 Homeworld ship. I don't know the actual name here, I'm just making stuff up. Yeah, this is a great cruiser. Box art, fantastic. What is that thing? Never seen that before. That's good stuff there. Just so many alternates here that were provided for inspiration, really, because I don't know, there probably wasn't a whole lot by way of instructions in the original manual. Probably the manual gave you what you needed to build the front of the box, and then it was kind of up to you. This would give you a starting point, but I don't think these were intended to be part for part built like this. It was just more of a style guide, really, that you could take apart your kit and build something like this. It didn't have to be piece for piece the same thing. It just gives you the idea of what can be achieved and the options that are out there. Nice thing to note on here are the original white hoses. There's 2 different variants of this part, and the expensive ones that I needed for my Market Street project have a little tab on the end. I'm not too picky about getting the ones without tabs, but I think these are actually harder to find because they are an older part, a retired part, and just like the current white hoses, they only came in a few sets, and they were larger sets like this one. So probably harder to find in that regard. Great Classic Space box here. 6972 into the world of Futuron once again. Maybe not a complete crossover here. We still have the Bennies, as they're known now, the Blue Spacemen, but the color scheme here predominantly the Futuron styles. Flap open up, give you some options for the playability, some of the features going on here. And the back really shows you the potential of a single set to build just about anything here. Did this come with, I think this would have had the Creator base plate. So that was spread throughout the 80s in the space themes. Still not a terribly common part, but it would have come with the set here. 6972. 6925, this nice buggy. Alternate builds include a mech, little space scooter, tank. I don't think this has the top flap. It's just a box style. Here is a special edition Light and Sound 6780 spacecraft. 200 pieces. Let's see here, our copyright here is 1985. This is the XT Starship. Yep. So the circuitry bricks here, circuitry plates rather, they had actually these poles on the studs. I've got a few of these over the years, but I don't have enough to really get a whole system going. I haven't even tested them, so I don't know if they're in good condition or not. But yeah, there's a whole subsystem of kind of the electronic side. It just gives a whole new dimension to a Lego set. There's a lot of third-party groups out there that do stuff for modulars now. You can wire up your modulars to have interior lighting, and this would kind of be the original Lego official version of that, where it was all integrated with the parts already. Almost an entirely different system. You know, these plates had to have the metal contacts on there, so that was probably an entirely different mold. Another one of the buggies. Another one of the Renegades. Yeah, so the set names are actually down here on the bottom. I kind of forgot about that. Inside this one we've actually got the 6522 Highway Patrol. It's probably the earlier version of the poly bag. So the poly box, I don't know. Couple of police minifigs, little scooters. You know, even sets this small have an alternate build. That's great. Double wide scooter. It's the police stuntman on here. And another Legoland pamphlet. I'll have to leaf through that later. Alright, getting close to the bottom now. A couple more to go. 6941. The Bat Tracks. Blacktron 1. Yeah, looks like a Batmobile a little bit. Great inspiration here. Once again, kind of the modular concept of having these main sections that then get swapped around in different combinations to build the Bat Tracks. 1987. It's another Bat Tracks box, and a couple of random items at the bottom. Let's see what we got down here. It's all good stuff. Okay, we've got the Starfire 1 6820, another poly box. I don't care if that's not what they're called, that's what I'm calling them now. Little Benny on there. I do like that print on the nose brick there. Starfire 1. Here's 6825. Cosmic Comet. Classic Space. Alternate rebuilds, even for that little set. 6848. Interplanetary Shuttle. Yep. This has the kind of light gray base compared to something like this with a blue base, compared to something like this with a white base. So all within the same couple years, you can kind of color coordinate your fleet. Another Futuron, twinned wing spoiler, and this is done with the digital typeface. That's kind of cool. Another Legoland 6602 Fire Unit 1. This was right at the point, let's see, was this 78? 1980. So minifigs have been around for only 3 years at this point, and they were just starting to get the hang of, you know, what if we built cars that minifigs could actually fit inside. So within a couple of years after this, I think they were getting to that with some of their 4-wide vehicles. We're just starting to accommodate minifigs. But here in 1980, they were still doing kind of the scale is a little bit off, and at its widest point, the Fire Chief car is 4 studs, where the minifig's supposed to sit is 2 studs wide. So there's no way you're getting the fireman in there. Still a lot of fun though, to have a vehicle and a minifig. 1980. Here's 6883 Terrestrial Rover. Another blue base set here. This has the white rims and the large off-road tires. Great classic space parts pack. And I've got a couple little pamphlets. Yeah, the paperwork. I do collect the paperwork, especially from these older lines. There's a nice fold-out manual, pretty good shape. This actually goes to the 6883. Oh, this is in great condition. Oh, 12 steps. They didn't give you a lot of hints when it came to which pieces you're going to use in each step. You know, some of these submodels will show you subsequent part placement, but a lot of it was kind of a game of spot the difference, and that is something you can definitely see that's come a long way with LEGO instructions today. Very clear now which pieces go where, to the point where experienced builders, you know, it's almost too easy. But keep in mind, LEGO sets are for younger kids too. So that's a little bit of paperwork, and then the last thing is the 6971. I think this is just the flap top that goes to the box. So another large classic space set here to kind of complete the collection. It works really well as a poster as well. I might just have to hang this up somewhere in the workshop down here. Another classic space. So once again, I want to say a huge thank you to the family member who sent these over for kind of my non-brick LEGO collection at this point. Classic boxes are a lot of fun to look at. Some of these is kind of the challenge aspect of reverse engineering those builds on the back of the box. And like I said, an idea that I have for some of these is to collect the pieces and have a complete boxed with manual classic space set. So at some point look at doing that in the future down the road, but now these are going to go into the workshop storage here, and can definitely pull these out for a closer look at individual sets or boxes for you guys. Just drop that comment down below what you want to see. Definitely a lot of fun looking through some of the originals and the hallmarks of what makes LEGO such a fun memory for a lot of AFOLs today. Thanks for watching along today, guys. We'll see you next time on Brick System Brothers.